So if we said area is equal to 1/2 base times height, where our base is 8, our height we need to determine. Any way we can determine that height? You have a host of tools that we've talked about in this section, or in this chapter 5. What if I did something like this? What pieces of information would you need in order to find height of this blackened triangle? Jacob? Okay, so you could either find one of these two angles, or you need to know this portion of the segment, this portion of 8, right? It's not necessarily going to be half of it. Okay. Now, what if I told you, or if I designated, is this angle something that you could find with the tools that we've discussed in this chapter? Okay, find it. You have a triangle given 3 sides, SSS. So what pattern or what equation can you use to find that missing angle? And so what equation can you use to find the angle theta? Law of cosines. You have SSS. So that means you should try law of cosines. And the law of cosines states if you take the piece opposite your unknown, you get 4 squared is equal to the sum of the squares of the other 2 sides minus twice the product of those sides, all times the cosine of what you're looking to solve for. And if you recall, we can use our calculators to solve this. The pattern that you would use if you're going to plug this into your calculator is solve. You can enter it exactly as it appears. So 4 squared equals 5 squared plus 8 squared minus 2 times 5 times 8 times, and I'm going to call it x. I'm going to solve for that x, and when I solve for it, what is my x representing? So this is what the cosine is equal to. So 73 over 80 is the cosine ratio, which means if I want to find that angle, what do I have to do to this ratio? Take the inverse of it. So now I can perform my calculation. The inverse cosine of 73 over 80. I'm going to put that in decimal form. That gives me approximately 24.15. And now, what good is this? What does it give me? Or where? How can I use this information now? Corey, what did you think? Okay, so now, when you're finding this h value, do you need to use, so I mean you could find these other angle measures here, but they're not necessarily required. If I know what this angle is, so I know this angle is about 24, can I now find h? Nick, what could we do to find h here?
You would just use just the trig ratios.
Okay. Good, exactly. So with this known angle, we now have an angle, the leg opposite that and the hypotenuse. So opposite and hypotenuse is which trig ratio?
It would be sine.
So sine. So what we can do is now take just the right triangle and we can set up a sine ratio. So we know that the sine of 24.15 is equal to the ratio of the opposite side or opposite leg over the hypotenuse. And so now to solve for h, we can multiply both sides by 5, and we get our h value to be, and just take 5 times the sine of, and you still want to use your exact answer, so highlight that line in your calculator display to use the exact answer, and when you hit enter, you get your height to be 2.04, or let's go 0.5 approximately. Once we have our height, we can plug that into our area formula, and so we have one final calculation Okay, and that is we take 1/2 times our base of 8 times our height, which we can just highlight again, bring out the exact answer. And we get our area to be 8.18. And since you're dealing with two-dimensional measurements, it'll be whatever units it is squared. So centimeters squared, inches squared, feet squared, whatever it happens to be.